Hi, lovelies, welcome back. So, as you can see, I'm coming to you from a bit of a different background than what I normally do. I'm in the back of my beautiful camper van, Willow, and we are currently in Tofino, BC. So, yeah, different change of scenery, and it's really, really, really lovely here. This week, I wanted to talk about making mistakes and kind of what we can learn from that because in case, I don't know, maybe you noticed, maybe you didn't notice, but last week was the first Friday in almost a year that a weekly video didn't go out. And that was a mistake on my part because when I was scheduling the videos before taking this trip, I thought I had scheduled it up until my birthday, meaning I would have to do more after my birthday. And I actually, it was my mistake. It was the week before my birthday that needed to be done, which was last Friday. So I thought, what a topical topic for this week, because there are a few things about mistakes that I have really seen in a different light since coming across this understanding, and thought it would be helpful to share. So the first thing is just that mistakes are completely human and they're going to happen. Like, none of us goes through our lives making zero mistakes. And in fact, it's almost counterintuitive because the more we put pressure on ourselves to be perfect, to be infallible, to be up to this excellent standard of just, oh, that's not me, that's other people, like I'm above that, that creates some problems. The first problem is it creates a lot of noise in head. If anyone is listening and you identify as a perfectionist or as a worrier or as an overthinker, you know that constant kind of striving to be really amazing at everything, have everything under control, be calm, cool, and collected, never let yourself sweat, never make mistakes, that doesn't actually lead to a healthy, relaxed, fulfilled life. It leads most of the time to a lot of overthinking, a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress, a lot of trying to hold it together, a lot of trying to push our very human nature aside in terms of being what we think we should be, which is essentially perfect and infallible. And I've noticed that, I wouldn't say I'm a completely recovered perfectionist. I say I'm a recovering perfectionist, but in my days of being a perfectionist, I was so committed to this mindset of like, it's not okay to make mistakes. What are people going to think of you? Like, you can't let people down like that. And that's just a really toxic way to live. It's a really kind of terrible burden to bear and weight to have on your shoulders, that you somehow need to be perfect and amazing and good at everything and just, really live in this way that's kind of counter to our condition. As humans, we are fallible. We make mistakes. We forget things. We forget people's birthdays. We forget anniversaries. We forget things on the shopping list. We say the wrong thing. We do the wrong thing. We forget to put a date in our calendar. We miscount how many videos we pre-scheduled. Like, that's what human beings do. And to kind of somehow act as if we don't, and we're better than that, and that's not us, that's just others, and trying to kind of push that side away and be superhuman just is a heck of a lot of work. And second of all, I realized that holding a lot of, there's the other reason it's counterproductive, is holding a lot of stress and anxiety and kind of really trying not to make mistakes tends to lead to a lot more mistakes. One of the other great paradoxes of life. Like, if you see people who are really, and you get this most when you kind of feel like someone's watching you or you're watching someone else, and that's when the pressure's on, when you need to be perfect, that's when you're going to screw up. That's why people do really bad on standardized tests. That's why people fail driving tests. It's usually not, sometimes, but it's usually not because they're a shitty driver. It's usually because when they're sitting there being interrogated by the person next to them, having to do everything on command, be perfect, try to hold it all together, knowing that every move, every shoulder check, every glance is being judged and evaluated by the person next to them. Like, that is a highly conducive environment to making mistakes. And as somebody who has failed not one but two driving tests for that very reason. I know that, yeah, that's just, it's the worst. And so back when I was kind of full blown in my perfectionism, full blown in my anxiety, full blown in my misunderstanding of how life worked, I was wondering why the more I tried to be superhuman and perfect, the less I was actually pulling it off. And now it's so obvious to me. It's like I was filling my mind with all of these thoughts about expectations, pressure, what I need to do, who I need to be, the impression I need to give off, what I need to look like. And all of that just led to more mistakes. All of that led to more overthinking, anxiety, feeling just overburdened by life. And that should have been a sign to kind of wake me up to like, hey, you're doing something in your mind that's not healthy. But I didn't see that at the time. I truly didn't. I really thought, I'm just not trying hard enough. Like, I need to kind of elevate my standard of, you know, of being superhuman. And I didn't see that it's totally okay to just be my human self, flaws and all. Yeah, I might fail some driving tests. Yeah, I may forget to put out a weekly video for the first time this year. Yeah, you know, other little things may happen. I may say the wrong thing. I may forget to text a friend back. I may get busy. My phone may die when I'm meeting someone. Like, all of these things happen. But c'est la vie. And so really what I've come to see about the role of this understanding in mistakes is that knowing that A, it's completely normal, it's completely natural, it's completely human. Like, you are definitely not less than for making a mistake. You are just the same as all of us. That gives me a lot of room for just compassion, forgiveness. It gives me a lot of room to realize that this isn't a Shannon thing. It isn't a you thing. There's nothing wrong with us that we make mistakes. It's just life. And to also really see that when we're really committed to being superhuman and to being infallible, that just works against us. When we fill our minds with, I have to look like this, I have to be this, people expect this of me, I have to, just do everything right, I have to be perfect, I have to be excellent. Like, every time that we put those expectations on our life and our experience, things don't go well because now we're operating with a busy mind. We're not operating in our natural clarity and wisdom. We're not, in the case of a driving test, we're not driving the way we just know how to drive, where it's effortless, it's natural, it's easy, it's intuitive. We're driving knowing that every turn, every look, every motion is being evaluated. And of course we're going to make mistakes. Of course we're going to feel on edge. Of course we're going to have a busy mind. And if you've watched any of my videos, you know that a busy mind is really our main problem. Like, we obscure the natural clarity, wisdom, common sense, love, okayness with a ton of thinking that says, I should be this, I should do this, I shouldn't do this, people need to see me this way, I need to be perceived as such, this isn't okay, God, I should be better, that was so stupid of me to make a mistake. A head full of thinking that doesn't serve us and doesn't get us anywhere. So fortunately, because of this understanding, when I realized my mistake, it was, I think, on Saturday or Sunday that I realized, it came on Messenger and I was like, oh, yeah, miscalculated. There was no video that went out on Friday. To me, that was just an example of like, okay, yeah, I made a mistake. Would I have loved that to happen? No. Did I think it was a big deal? Not really. I know nobody was going to die over it. It wasn't like I'm a heart surgeon or a pilot and I'm, taking this risky, reckless mistake that can cost people, hundreds of lives and millions of dollars. It was just a little, oops, misschedule that in my calendar. And in the end, everything is fine. And in the end, we can just kind of fall back into our understanding of it's all okay. It's all normal. It's all human. And it only becomes a big deal when we make it a big deal. It only becomes a problem when we make it a problem. And it only becomes something that we think we need to overcome or battle or toughen up against or work harder at when we decide that that's how life should be. And all of that's optional, my friends. None of that is required. So, as always, I hope this video is helpful. Please leave questions or comments below. I love hearing from you guys, especially if you have any topics or video requests. And yeah, I will do my best to schedule a lot and and keep the videos coming every Friday. So take care, be well, and I'll speak with you soon.